Could somebody please make it make sense?
All right, thank you everyone for tuning into the first ever episode of the Make It Make Sense podcast. I am your host, Face, and with me, I have somebody extremely special as my first guest on my first ever podcast, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the light of my life, Skylar. All right, Skylar, say hello to everyone.
Hey,
all
welcome
right.
to our podcast.
Hooray, right? And this is the first podcast, man. This inaugural episode. I'm really happy. You know, me trying to get this podcast started, as you well know, has been a struggle. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to pop this thing off for a couple of years now. But finally, you know, your man's done invested the money, done invested the time. You know what I'm saying? And now we getting this podcast started. So on this inaugural episode, you know, since the first episode, right? Got to do it right. Got to bring in the one person, you know, who has supported me this entire time and throw her on the podcast, make sure the world hears her glorious voice. You know what I'm saying? And she can definitely help me get this thing started. So first of all, before I get started, right? Before we talk about anything, I just want to take the time, all right, to thank you, okay, for being there for me, for being supportive, like every step of the way with all the money that I spent, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that shit's hard out here, you know what I mean? With all the time that I've invested in starting these podcasts, man, with the headaches, you already know, the ups and the downs, the round and rounds that's been going on with this. And you've been sticking by me for this. You've been supporting my dreams. And honestly, I can't thank you enough, yo. It's like this moment right now is special for me, man. So thank you very much.
No doubt, babe. I'm there every step of the way.
Right.
Your support system all day, every day.
Well, thank you.
All the way.
All the way. Now that we got that out the way, all right, the pleasantries and whatnot, I think we should get this podcast started. And today, you know, I was pondering this for a while, all right, how exactly I wanted to start my show, okay, what exactly I wanted to call this episode. And I was like, you know, I got Skylar on, you know what I'm saying, this relationship thing, you know, it's a big topic, especially in the Black community, creating and maintaining a stable relationship, obviously, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, since Skylar's coming on board, right, one of the foundations of relationships, like what makes me and her relationship kind of pop, you know what I'm saying? What makes it strong, you know? And I was like, oh, trust. Like the word trust rang in my ear. Amongst some other things, you know what I mean? So I was like, I got it, right? This first podcast, I'm gonna make sense of trust, especially in a relationship. And then R. Kelly happened. So I'm gonna get to the trust thing, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm gonna get to the trust thing, but I would be remiss if I didn't take the time to mention R. Kelly. Okay? And I'm gonna take this time out to thank everybody who's watching on YouTube right now. I appreciate it. I'm gonna look to the camera when I say this. This is why I said that. R. Kelly. Yo, I have to say this, right? The interview was just like the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly gots to be the stupidest motherfucker.
Dumb as hell.
This side of the Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? This R. Kelly thing has been going on for so long, right? So long. And the fact that still, to this day, he still got VHS tapes out of him and little girls. Like, first of all, name me the last time you saw a VHS. It's probably been a while, right?
Yeah, since my younger days, because I don't even think we have anything with the capability to even play a VHS.
You don't even have like the DVD, VHS dual
I don't even
system.
have shit to play a CD.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who buys CDs anymore? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's ancient times, and R. Kelly's still out there popping the tape in, hitting rewind, trying to cover up.
Well, see, this nigga was probably betting on people not having nothing to play the VHS, so it was only for his eyes only.
Right. I mean, look, the whole thing, the interview, killed it. First of all, shout out to every remix that I've heard since then. Y'all been populating my playlist, and that's just popping. You know what I'm saying? But the interview, I just have to say this, right? The thing that struck me the most is that out of that entire interview, R. Kelly never like admitted to doing anything wrong, never really acknowledged it. Like everything was so personal.
Well, he's not gonna take no blame because he don't feel like he did anything wrong.
I mean,
like it's just everybody's just personally attacking his character.
What character?
He been fighting for this his whole life, his whole career.
Whose character they attacking?
I mean, I guess
little girls
his
don't mean nothing, right? But they did come on.
They went willingly in his eyes.
They did say that, and then when the females came up afterwards, and said what they had to say, you know what I mean? It was like, nah, I'm there willingly. You know what I'm saying? She took personal offense to Gayle trying to tap into their sex life. You know what I mean? Like, this is serious. So R. Kelly's disgusting, right? I just needed to get that out there. He's gross, but he's also the most hilarious person this month, okay? And he has officially replaced the Jordan meme with the R. Kelly crying meme. If you check out, I want everybody to go on the Make It Make Sense podcast, right, on an IG page, and I want you to double tap and like R. Kelly's crying face with the cheese on it, because I'm going to post that. You know what I'm saying? You know how they've been throwing cheese on babies and dogs and whatnot? So I'm going to post R. Kelly with the cheese on his face, because it's just too damn funny. You know what I'm saying? I just had to, that's my small bit of R. Kelly talk that I'm going to get out here, because we have more important things to talk about,
we
right?
do.
We have more pressing things to talk about. And I'll leave R. Kelly in that, like, whole shit for another podcast, for another day with another nigga. You know,
because it could be a whole conversation.
Oh, we gonna get into it. And the motherfucker I gotta talk to, he from Chicago, and Chicago's been taking L's for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, the Jussie Smollett thing, you know what I'm saying? Kanye West got the Fruit Loop hair now R. Kelly getting locked up not once but twice. It's been a cold winter.
It has.
It's been a cold winter for Chicago. Ain't even been a lot of snow.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
We're all ready for warmer days.
Bruh, you feel me? Especially Chi-Town. But anyway, outside of that, like I said, we have much more of pressing matters to discuss. We're really not pressing, but just a little, very important. The idea of trust, right? When I started talking about trust in relationships, what really triggered that conversation or that thought process for me was this whole Tristan Thompson, Jordyn Woods scenario.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That whole situation really, I mean, we're not considering Khloe Kardashian black. Right? But this is an issue within the black community, you know what I'm saying? Male to females, how we trust each other going into relationships. We all know that Khloe Kardashian took Tristan back after that, after he was already cheating, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. And honestly, I say all that to say, not to say that Khloe was wrong to take him back, because a lot of these motherfuckers out here is taking back they ain't shit, you know what I'm saying, boyfriends, and they ain't making $80 million in a year. You know what I'm saying? They ain't signing no contracts or no shoe deals and nothing like that.
Aside,
you know what I mean? I'm just saying, bro. You know what I mean? They out here, working double shifts at the Dollar Tree, you know what I mean? And they pulling in some bank, a couple of them, sell a little weight on the side, you know what I mean? But they taking them back, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna get mad at Khloe for taking the father of her child back, right? But this whole Jordyn Woods thing kind of don't look like that. I don't even know what was that look for. Like, what was that? I mean, don't get mad at her. That's the father of a child.
I'm not mad at Khloe. I mean, for one, I feel really bad for her, because not only is she like known for being like the uglier Kardashian,
That's
but
rude.
I mean, it is rude, but it is what it is.
Why? Because she's bigger than everybody else? I mean, she's the ugliest one?
I mean, even her facial features, she doesn't have.
Because she looked like OJ.
I mean, that hasn't been confirmed. Allegedly.
All right. She got the running back shoulders. I don't want to hear that shit.
But I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for her, because she's just being constantly attacked for not only her personal decisions on how she's handled the situations that she's been in, but just the public crucifixion of her has just been crazy, and I don't feel like she deserves that.
Well, no, but I feel like at the same time she kind of sets herself up for that. You know what I'm saying?
She does, especially with what she says.
Right, when you bring out the tweet, Jordan, you don't want to ruin our family. There's a lot of females out there, especially in this new age of women empowerment, who was sitting there like, blame the dude, right?
Yeah.
But in the sense of trust, I'm not going to fully blame Tristan. I'm going to blame Tristan, all right? He deserves a lot of blame. I see you looking at me funny. He deserves a lot of blame. But I feel like there was a shift, especially after the Red Table Talk interview with Jordyn Woods. There was a big shift of, I guess, focus and blame off of Jordan. There was a lot more people who were willing to believe Jordan's side of the story than Tristan's. And obviously Tristan got this whole track record, you know what I'm saying?
Did he even give his side of the story?
He doesn't have to. He flipped y'all off. He was like, fuck all of this shit, man. I'm not about to go through this. Y'all know what's good.
That's because he was with another woman in that picture.
Okay, and
he's never
Tristan
said
don't
anything
need explanation, son. Tristan said, let my game talk. And you see my game, you see what it's getting me?
Ain't shit.
I mean, come on, yo. The man make $80 million. But it's all right. But anyway, but that's all, like I said, a lot of the blame being shifted away from Jordyn Woods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess somewhat, right? But her story off of Red Table Talk is kind of what threw me off.
Yeah, it had its shady moments.
It had a lot of shady moments. You know what I'm saying? The shadiest moment being that after the kiss, right? So let me give you an example. Right?
Okay.
You out there with your homegirls, you know what I'm saying? You by yourself, blah, blah, blah. One of your homegirls, men, right, one of their boyfriends or whatever comes up to you and they kiss you. I don't give a fuck what she said she didn't flirt. She said she didn't do no type of flirtation. She said she kicked the legs up on them, but that was about it, right? So being that logic, there was no indication or there was no signals given to Tristan then that he should go up there and do some shit like that.
Right.
Like even when you drunk, you know what I'm saying? I can understand drunk coming into play, right? But still drunk and just walking up and kissing women is still sexual assault. Like that doesn't, you know what I mean? That doesn't make any difference. Normally you would try to talk to someone first. I would hope he wasn't that drunk, you know what I'm saying? And just walk up and start kissing random bitches. Or that. Well, I mean, that's another thing. It makes the story's just very weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would that be the person you want to? All them randoms out there, we don't know their name. They ain't got no affiliation to the Kardashians. Why didn't you go up and kiss them? Why Jordan? But I'll get to that in a second.
That's the question we'll just never know the answer to officially.
I'll get to that in a second, right? Okay. But when it comes to Jordan, okay, like the blame is, like I said, it's shifted. But I guess my question would be, first of all, let me take a step back. So I can set up context, right? Should Tristan even have had that party in the first place? I mean, he said he had a bunch of random...
the way that Jordan explained it, it kind of seemed like that is the lifestyle in LA. Like, you're partying, y'all ain't ready to end that party, so you just take it back to the crib. Right. It could be harmless, it could be chill, it could have no intentions to it. So for me to say, like, that's not right in itself, I feel is a little bit unfair because I don't know that social culture in that city. Right. And I believe Jordan when she said, like, people wasn't ready to go home at that time, so they wanted to just pick a spot to go to keep the party going. Okay. So I feel that part of the story in itself was innocent and fine and cool. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with you bringing people back to the place to keep the party going if that's what you was going to do, because I trust you.
But Chloe wasn't there.
It don't matter. I don't have to be there.
All right, that's fine. So Chloe established that trust, right?
Right. She said, that was one thing. It's cool. Like, go ahead, do that.
Okay. So as your best friend, right? I would expect my niggas, you know what I mean? Like my homies to stay not like far away from you, like in terms of avoiding you, you know what I'm saying? But they know boundaries, right? They know boundaries. They know not if you kick their legs up, that's a red flag. Like, to me, that's an ultimate red flag. Like, I don't give a damn how cool we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tristan and Chloe aren't married. Right. Let's just get that out the way. And they're rekindling a relationship that was built off the foundation of cheating. Right. You know what I mean? And you feel like it's comfortable enough to throw your legs on top of someone and not expect any signals to get crossed. Like, of course it's going to get crossed. You know what I mean? Like, this is... It's something so subtle. Like, all a nigga need is an inch. You know what I mean? Like, because women are very hard to read nowadays. You know what I mean? I don't know what you want. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're trying to flirt. I don't know if your feet hurt. Like, I don't know what the real is. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take an inch. Now Tristan went and jumped a big ass mile. You know what I'm saying? But you still gave up that inch. So it raises that question that, as a friend, you know what I mean? What's the expectations of your friend when it comes to your man? Like, did she? I guess I'll say this. Did she exceed any boundaries that she shouldn't have besides the legs kicking up? Like, is there anything within that story that you find like fishy? Or
the only thing that I really felt fishy about was when she was telling the story about her legs being on him, because it seemed like she wanted to say something else and then she thought about it and then she was like, yeah, my legs were just on him. Like, it seemed like she was hiding something, but in our relationship, I wouldn't want any of my girls to have their leg on you. Right. Like, for what? There's plenty of space all over the apartment where you can sit. There's no need for you to have your legs on my nigga. For what? So I feel like she crossed the boundary there. Not necessarily going back to his place to party with him still, because she claimed she didn't even know that that's where they were going until they were en route. Right. So I don't think that was an issue, but the leg situation was an issue in my eyes. So that was really the only boundary crossing.
So you didn't find any issue with the fact that after that whole situation happened, she didn't tell nobody?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like at the actual party.
I'm just saying like throughout that entire situation. Like,
yeah, I do feel like when she first told, or the fact that she decided not to tell anybody was a major mistake. Like, if you and Kylie are as close as you said you were,
Right.
you should have called her from jump.
At
Like,
least
bitch,
her.
guess what the fuck just happened?
Right.
Like, your sister's nigga just kissed me. I don't know what to do. Like, help me out.
Right.
So that somebody else knows your side of the story before the world gives their advice and opinion on what supposedly went down.
And that's what I find to be like the weirdest thing out of all of this, right? Is like, you know, I get it. It's a shock. You know what I mean? It might have been a shock. You might have chopped it up to some drunk nights. You know what I mean? You
Right.
might not have wanted to stir the pot and start nothing shady. You know
Right,
what I'm
because
saying?
she did say that. Like, they was already going through their stuff, so she didn't
Hey,
want to add fuel to the fire,
But
and I get
it's
that.
not fuel to the fire. Like, it's okay. So put it like this: they're trying to rekindle their relationship off of cheating. You have firsthand witness, like you're a firsthand witness to him cheating,
Right.
doing something like clearly whatever they're working on ain't working. I feel like it's your responsibility as a friend, right?
Yeah.
At least
Or
to
a
her
sister,
sister.
right.
You know what I'm saying? To sit there and say, "Yo, check this out. Whatever y'all motherfuckers doing ain't working, because this is what just happened immediately." And then the fact that, you know, I don't know if it was like, I don't want to say no NDAs or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Non-disclosure agreements, but when it comes to what about the other motherfuckers in the party? Like this whole time, for a couple of days, weeks straight, we was ripping Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We was going in, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? She got a whole phone plan cut off by Kylie, everything else. She was cut out the loop. Nobody came up to her defense. Like, you went there with a group of friends. I didn't see a single report from any of those friends that was like, nah, Jordan really didn't do it. This is what happened. Nothing to like collaborate with her story. So that's what I find shady, because I'm like, you know, as a friend, I would really expect you to be the one to say something to me first. I don't need to hear, especially as a public figure, which is why I kind of agree with Chloe. First of all, hashtag I'm with Chloe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit there and take all of this Khloe Kardashian, you know, slander out here. You know what I'm saying? Chloe took a chance on a man. All right, she decided to give it up to love. She took a chance on a man. Now she got played. It was just her time.
Many times.
She got. You know what I'm saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is twice, I think, or is it third
I
time?
have no idea. Who knows?
We losing track now? God damn. Okay, she might be stupid.
It's been
I don't know.
a
Listen,
minute. Like,
I mean, listen, she took a chance because it's the father of her kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, she wants some type of family. I can't get mad at her for wanting some family structure. You know what I mean? You got to keep
Yes.
that money in your house. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, she didn't have the same energy when she took the other Jordans, his other baby moms,
who?
off of him. Like, she got with Tristan when he was with someone else named Jordan and she was pregnant. So it's like,
No,
you
I
trying
don't
to keep
know
that family unit together.
He wasn't
she
even.
didn't get a
He
care
wasn't.
about that
Okay,
shit.
that's her. That's her decision. Don't get mad at her for making her own personal decision about how she's trying to keep her family together. She ain't that other chick. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, no, I'm not gonna say that. That's kind of fucked up. I was about to say something about the baby. I ain't gonna say that shit. I ain't gonna say that shit. But I guess, listen, this whole thing, right? It definitely culminates a larger conversation about trust. You know what I'm saying? From Khloe to Tristan, from Jordan to the rest of the Kardashians, from Tristan to Jordan. You know what I'm saying? In terms of trust. So I guess in a relationship, especially in like the black community, you know what I'm saying? We have a humongous problem with trust.
Hell yeah.
All right. Trust and accountability to me kind of go hand in hand, right? And I feel like sometimes with women, the accountability thing doesn't really register to you guys. You know what I mean? So you formulated as kind of misplaced trust when it could be something that you're doing as well. You know what I mean? But you know, that's a conversation, kind of accountability. Make a sense of accountability another day. You know what I'm saying? That's a deeper conversation that motherfuckers gonna hate me for. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna go in. All right. But it's like with the black community and trust, you know, automatically as a man, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, right? As a black man. Listen, me and you wasn't dating and we walked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. We establish some type of a relationship. You know what I mean? We get real cool with each other and we start to date. Okay? Automatically as a man, if I fuck with you like that, I feel like I gotta walk on eggshells. Okay? Like me. Because in the back of my mind, I feel like you subscribe to most of the black women's mentality of these niggas really ain't shit. Like, you gotta watch yourself. Now I understand self-preservation, right? You gotta make sure you protect number one. You know what I mean? But it's almost like there's some things that men can do that will never really like solidify that type of trust. You know what I'm saying? There's always a question mark. Like, we have friends, you know what I mean? We have friends, people that we know who, you know, have taken people back and feel mistrusted, and we kind of understand where that's coming from, right? And we also have friends that just do it just to do it. You know what I mean? They have no rhyme or reason. They weren't given really an indication that they need to mistrust this person, and they still decided to mistrust.
They just weren't looking.
They just weren't looking.
To confirm like a suspicion or.
I always say this: if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you go looking for something, you're gonna find that shit, even if there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? But as I guess as a community, as a woman, right, taking it from a black woman's perspective, for the men out there, right, is it more of when it talks about mistrusting black men? Because I feel like there's a general sense in the community about black men, not that they can't be trusted, but that they're hard to trust. You know what I mean? What can we as black men do, right? I'm talking initially to garner and build trust with, women that either we're pursuing or that we already have, so that we don't have that, where you been at type of vibe every time we want to go do something individually. Like, what can we do as men to comfort you guys and to build that trust up?
I think it's all about actions and consistency. Now, if you're initially dating a chick and you go into that relationship and she has that mentality like, I don't trust you, I gotta know where you've been at, blah, 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 you know that you're dealing with a woman that's been hurt in the past and she has trust issues. So you have to deal with her accordingly. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair, and she probably shouldn't be dating, but this is just something that you're either going to have to deal with, her asking you a million questions, or tailor your actions to make her more comfortable with you as a person.
I mean, so I have to tailor my actions to her to fit.
If you want to date her, if you want to continue the relationship. So
nothing's equal, nothing's 50-50, right? Is it just... You feel what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's
but
like...
if this is like an initial relationship, though, that you're trying to establish, you know that the woman that you're about to start dating has trust issues. If that's
I don't. How do I know that?
Well, if she asks you like a million questions, or she'd be like, let me look at your phone.
So I'm supposed to... Okay, first of all, red flag. That
is a red flag. But some people just decided to go past that shit and just keep still talking to that person, even though those red flags are there in the beginning. I
mean, I'm just saying, if you ask me, if we dating and we ain't been dating for a month, and you already asking to do it through my phone, I'm not going to qualify that as a trust issue. I'm gonna call you insecure. You know what I'm saying? That's an insecurity. That's a personal thing. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And again, I understand about tailoring, right? Because I feel like relationships need to go 50-50, right? Hand in hand. You gotta give up something. I gotta give up something. You got to be willing to give it up. It's all about what you're willing to do. If you're not willing to give it up, then you don't need to be in a fucking relationship, period. Because you're gonna have to make some type of sacrifice. But it's like initially, okay, so much is required from a man. And I'm not here to try to give men an out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to call it just societal. I don't want to know if you want to call it like just from time. But men have always, in my opinion, have always had a lot on their shoulders.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
A lot of expectations come out of men.
The world on your shoulders.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't like the way you said that. You know what I mean? But I get what you're saying, I mean, from the time of cavemen, you know what I'm saying? It was the men who went out and hunted and brought it back. You know what I mean? And tribes and stuff like that. The women were in the village.
I guess it depends on the part of the world you're in.
I mean,
there were Amazon women that went out hunting and shit.
Absolutely. I'm not saying women couldn't do it. Right. I'm saying the general vibe. Come on, dog. The generalness of it all. Don't start. The generalness of this, right, is that men were normally the providers. You know what I'm saying? Provide is a big thing. Provide, protect, secure. That's what we are. And secure to me is a double-edged sword, right? Because it's not just a security like personal security, like the security of the household, like, making sure everybody is safe. It's also emotional security. You know what I mean? Right. It's mental security, making sure that, factoring in with trust, you're not going to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do something to me to hurt me in the future. There's a lot that men have to think about. Yeah. And we still got to find time to take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And so much is asked from us. And I feel like it's never reciprocated the same way. It's one-sided. There's a saying, right? That's like, happy wife, happy life.
Right.
I don't hear no rhymes about a happy husband. I don't even know a rhyme with husband. Okay? I don't hear no rhymes about no happy husband. Like, the husband's happiness is never factored in. And in terms, when it comes back to trust, what about my trust? Right? Because I always feel like there's a lot of naive niggas out there. You know what I'm saying? Who go in feet first into a relationship or into a domestic partnership or whoever you decide to bang that day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we don't really get that type of respect back. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that we have to be forced to put into this relationship. We go in feet first. We give so much, and it's never reciprocated. It's never brought back. And then when the relationship fails, it's, where's what you did wrong?
Right.
And it's never come back to the woman. You know
Right,
what
and
I'm
I
saying?
do feel like it's unfair, but as we know, pussy runs the world. And I mean, that's because men's pursuit of women. So yeah, women end up getting lazy and they get used to men catering to their needs because you don't have to do much. Like if you one day you decide, look, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to pay no bills. I don't want to take care of her ass.
You're real close to that, by the way.
There's always 10 other niggas that are willing to take your place. So why, unless I want to work
So
and
that
improve
gives you a
myself,
license to not give a
It's
fuck?
not a license to not give a fuck, but now you can see how it creates lazy women who are used to having their needs
But again,
and everything
what you're
tailored
doing,
to.
what you're doing to me is justifying an excuse.
Yeah.
If we're gonna call a spade, then let's do that then.
Right.
That means that women aren't putting in as much as they
Now, I
expect
don't say
men to put in.
like all women, but
Because-
there is a good
'cause I put
majority
it
of
like
women
this.
that are lazy.
I put it like this. What does it say that I don't have trust issues? I've had my heart broken in the past. You know what I'm saying? I didn't carry that into my next relationship and then expect the woman to capitulate to me. Like, I knew that, you know what, whatever happened in the past, right? Whatever happened with ex number 1, 2, 3, whatever the hell she was, I can't bring that on to the next girlfriend.
Except for
because
the
she's
jewelry
not
thing.
them. What jewelry thing? Oh my God.
You carried that.
Okay. All right. So real quick. So let me get this shit clear since you want to bring shit up, right? And I love how you want to bring this up when we're recording. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, right? So this is what ended up happening, right? So I have a thing when it comes to Skylar and gifts, right? I don't buy Skylar jewelry. I haven't bought Skylar any jewelry yet. And we've been dating for what now?
Like
5 years?
years.
Like it's been a long time. And I haven't bought any jewelry for you. My reasoning is this, right? I think it's pretty logical. Okay? My reasoning is jewelry is such a cliche general ass gift, okay? Little kids get their little girlfriends fucking rings and promise rings and jewelry. Like jewelry to me means nothing. It holds no value, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Has any of your exes bought you jewelry?
They have.
Have any random niggas that you haven't dated but you talked to bought you jewelry?
I don't think so. No.
Or do you still have it?
No.
You don't have none of your exes' jewelry?
No.
None of it. What did you do with it?
I threw that shit away.
As soon as you broke up with them?
I don't know as soon as, but
Okay,
I no
so do
longer
you
have
expect
it.
everybody to have thrown their shit away too? Like, do I
No.
expect me to know that either? Do I ask, hey, yo, who you got this jewelry from?
No, who has the time or day to
exactly.
do that? 'Cause
I don't.
Trust.
But here's what I'm saying. I don't want to buy you a necklace, right, or a bracelet, and then you throw it into the box with the other nigga's bracelet or the other motherfucker's necklace, and it's just something so general and so cliche. When I give you a gift because I love you, right, and because I care about you and I respect you, I want to give you a gift that's unique. Every time
So you don't
look
think
at
that
it,
if you bought me some earrings, I wouldn't wear them bitches every day with
it's
pride
not about
and
wearing them.
happiness?
No, you
and-
wouldn't wear them every day with pride because they don't match with every outfit you got.
If you got me some diamond studs like I got in my ear right now.
You gonna wear it with every single outfit?
Yes,
No,
because
you
I
don't.
got 3 holes in each
No,
ear.
you wouldn't wear it with every single outfit. I mean, you're just gonna lie to the people like that. Like,
Anyways.
no, I'm just saying, I want my gifts to be unique. Every time I buy you something, it's a little bit different. There is a big ass, like, 8-foot bear in the corner, which you don't fucking use, by the way, okay? That shit cost me a couple $100. You know what I'm saying? You don't even sit on that bitch but like once a season, okay? I carried that I packed
It's
that. Hold on,
decoration. He's decoration.
I want to get this off my chest for a while. I packed that shit into the world's smallest Ultima. I could not motherfucking see out my damn back window, out my rear windows. I had to back up, like I had to come out with the joint like that just so I can go ahead and back up. You know what I'm saying? I was dangerous. You know how scary it is driving through Pittsburgh streets and you can't see behind you, bro? Like, come on, fam. Everywhere you turn, there's a new hill. I drove that all the way back to my pop's house, stashed it until Christmas, put that bitch back in the car, took it all the way back to the crib Christmas morning, and have it sitting there for you, and you don't even use it. Come on, yo. Like, that's a unique gift right there.
It is. He's
That's a
decoration.
human size
He's going to
for
be
what?
around for
the storage,
years.
decorating the
I'm
storage.
not
room?
putting him in the storage.
That's what it basically is now?
No.
You know what? This is it. We're not going to do this. All right, we're not going to hit this problem, okay? Okay, this is what I was afraid of when I brought you on. All right, this is what I was afraid of. Anyway, back to the topic and the conversation at hand, and that's establishing trust. Since we want to bring up our relationship and how we get down, I'll ask you this, right? Do you trust me?
I do.
Great. Glad to hear that. how did you, because I know I fucked up in the past.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time. David has made his
time
mistakes.
coming.
I've made my mistakes before. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I remember when I made those mistakes, right? I remember when I had messages in my phone that shouldn't have been there. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to people that I shouldn't have been talking to. Shit, I remember that day that you ended up finding them. I almost killed myself running back to the crib to make sure I apologized. Came in on my hands and knees, right? But I always said I never expected you to gain my trust back, right? I never mandated it for you. Meaning I gave you the avenue, I gave you the opening that if you wanted to, you know, say, fuck this, I can't deal with it, then go. But my thing was, if you're going to continue the relationship and we're going to work on it, then trust needs to be one of those things that you worked on, and building it, and be willing to build that trust.
Right.
Because a relationship without trust is absolutely nothing. It's not a relationship. Y'all just fucking for real. You know what I'm saying? So even since then, before, now, how do you, I guess the question is, how do you trust me? I mean, what have I done to show you trust? Like, what was your expectations that I fulfilled? Like, what made you trust me? What made you comfort?
Probably just like I said, consistency, and showing that consistency through your actions are things that help me build trust throughout the years. Like, yeah, we've had those little instances where kind of cracked our mirror of trust, but it's never fully broken, because at the end of the day, I know that you love me. I know that I mean a lot to you, and I know that you would never do anything intentionally to hurt me. I know that you're human, and at the end of the day, there are situations where you may be tempted and you may fall for that temptation, but at the end of the day, I know I'm always going to be number one. Now, I know that's not an excuse to just be like, oh yeah, my nigga might be out there talking to bitches, but at the end of the day, I'm number one. Nothing on that level, but from those times that you fucked up till now, you've just shown me that I'm the center of your world. Like, every day through your actions, you show me that you love me, that you would do anything for me, that, you know, it's never a question or hesitation to give me what I want or need. So I don't have a desire or a need to go looking for anything. I don't have like a voice in my head like, damn, maybe this nigga cheating. Maybe he's talking to somebody else, or maybe he's doing this or that. I don't have those feelings anymore. But you had them. I had them previously. So what did it
take for you to, I guess, actions and deeds, right?
Yep, actions and consistency.
Right.
It just took time. Like, I don't want to say it as, no.
Is what you're saying.
I don't want to say it's something as like a switch, like, oh, today's Wednesday, I'm tired of being mad at him, I'm tired of not trusting him, let's just trust him. It's just,
so I put it like this. When I'm talking about full trust, right?
Yeah.
Full unadulterated trust. Even when it comes to like Instagram, or let's leave Instagram out of it, right? Because we'll touch on social media a little bit later. Let's hold that for a second. But let's talk about if I go out to the club by myself. You know what I'm saying? There are some people, men and women both included, you know what I'm saying? If you go out by yourself into a certain environment, right, there's some environments that are more untrustworthy than others.
Right.
I feel like with you, it's never been a question of where are you going, who are you going with, blah, blah, blah. However, right, there are some locations that garner a little bit of like, well, what are you doing? Make sure that you're monitoring, right? I.e. like the titty bar, you know what I'm saying? You go to the strip club. Excuse me. Damn. You know, and I feel like those situations is where the trust really shows itself into a relationship, right? Now, speaking from my end, you know what I'm saying? I've always said that it's not that I don't trust you. I trust you fully 100%. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the world around you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I am a black man, right? I used to run the streets like a little hoe like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I've had my whole times, and damn it, I was pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I understand what men, especially young dudes, you know, coming up, what they're thinking, how they think, how they operate, right? And there are some locations that I can say as a man, you know, I don't really trust you at, right? And not saying, when I say trust you, I don't mean like I don't trust you, Skylar, to go there, right? I don't trust you being in that type of environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you know, a trip to like Miami with your girls. Okay, that's one thing. You know what I mean? And I think over the years, I've definitely warmed up to that idea more and more, right?
And I was just going to say, like, age plays a factor into it, too.
Well, I don't know about age. I mean, you can be a hoe at like 42. You know
Well,
what
I'm not saying, like, being a hoe, but I'm saying, like, your maturity level and being able to accept your partner doing things on their own.
Right, maturation.
Like, being at 21, you be like, hey, babe, I'm about to go to Miami for the weekend. You like, nigga, no, you not, unless I'm going. But now we're about to be 29 years old. If you and your boys said, hey, babe, we're about to go, you know, go to Miami for the weekend and have a little boys' night. All right, cool.
But I think that comes with time too. But it's also, I mean, I hear you on that, but I feel like another factor definitely is accompanying what you keep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
If you're going to Miami with, you know,
with some hot pockets.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're going there with the girls who are out there looking. Because here's what I think, right? This is what makes me nervous. Not if you go out to the club with your girls and you're sitting in VIP and y'all chilling and whatnot. That's not what bothers me. I don't care. Go have fun. Go drink. Go laugh. Go dance with your girls. You know what I'm saying? Go live. You know what I mean? Well, my thing is that if 1, 2, 3 of your girls is like, nah, we gonna catch something. We out here to bag something tonight, right? And then you start inviting motherfuckers into your VIP. And then you start inviting motherfuckers into your section or into your environment or into your space. And now there's guys out there who might, you know, they might have been looking for one specifically, but they got their homeboys and they homeboys need somebody to talk to. And you just, you know, and I know you, and this is where the trust comes in. I know Skylar gonna be like, you know, nah, I'm cool. I got a man, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that. But this is a world of sexual assault. You know what I'm saying? This is a world of Me Too movement. You know what I mean? This is a scary ass world. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I can sit there and say, after all the stuff that I see around here, this is sick. I get sickened every single day by that type of shit.
Right.
So I don't trust this world at all. You know what I mean? And it's, to me, I think you've done an exceptional job at recognizing that and understanding where I'm coming from, not knowing that I'm not trying to be controlling, right? That I'm not trying to tell you what to do and who to be with and who to hang with, but that I do have general concern for your safety and for everything around you, and that you made, once again, going back to that word sacrifice, that I don't have to go to this club with this person, or I don't have to be around this type of a crowd because it doesn't make David comfortable. And I don't really need this shit to have fun. So, you know what I mean, it is what it is. I don't have to end up going. But I feel like what can get misconstrued now is that some men have that same mentality. It's not that I don't trust you. Of course I trust you. I just don't know who rolling up on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then that gets confused with, oh, you don't trust me. You're controlling. You want me to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. And I feel like there was a point in our relationship that was a question. You know what I'm saying? Is David controlling? Because, you know, if anybody's seen how you shape, you know what I'm saying? You got the body, you know what I mean? Everything else like that. You're a very attractive woman. You know, certain outfits, dog, if I see a little cheekage pop out, you know what I mean? Like, oh, bring that thing down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But when you're around me, I'm more comfortable with you wearing that stuff. Because the moment that a motherfucker tries to holler, I'm turning around ready to, you know what I mean? Ready to swing. So I got your back. I'm there to ward off the perverts and everything else like that. You know what I mean? So go ahead and have fun because you got your bodyguard next to you, basically. But when you're not, when I'm not around, I'm like, nah. Because I recognize reality. And reality is a lot of sick motherfuckers out there. And they'll see something like that and they'll be like, nah, I got to have that.
Right. And you don't even have to give any inclination of flirtation.
Yo, Tristan Thompson, your ass, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I think it gets misconstrued. I think trust is a very fickle thing when it comes to black relationships. Because it's like, you know, on both hands, I feel like both sides have points that are valid. You know, if you are a woman and you've been hurt in the past, like I get that. I get that I have to overcome it, and I get that I have to be willing to capitulate to that and to, you know, cater to your needs and to cut off some of the things in my life to make you more comfortable. But at a certain point, I guess my question is, does that, when the comfortability starts to come, do you kind of like say, you know what, fuck this, you know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm comfortable. I'm not worried about this now, because giving up trust is giving up yourself completely, 100%, meaning giving yourself up to be hurt again. So would you be willing, after you've been hurt for a while, with a man who's been doing everything right, to still be able to give yourself up again? Like, is that something, I mean, or does that trust kind of lingers with you throughout? You have it in the back of your mind, you know what I'm saying, throughout the entire relationship? Is there a point at a woman, I think in every woman's life, that they say, you know, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and trust this man completely like I did in the past, even though that got him hurt in the past?
I think the phrase like forgive but never forget kind of sticks with me because I'm the type of person that can move on from a situation, but best believe I'm never gonna forget that it occurred. Not that I'm gonna treat you differently or I'm gonna hang this over your head like, look nigga, look what you did 3 years ago,
right?
And I'm still with your ass,
right?
Like it's not gonna be nothing like that, but I feel like I would be unfair to say that I don't move a little bit more guarded. Now, it may not be something that you recognize in my everyday actions, but I would be a little bit more guarded after a situation. Now, through your consistency and actions, I may be a little bit more comfortable with you doing more things. Like our trust level is getting higher and higher. However, I don't think that I would fully be able to forget a situation. Not that it would negatively impact our relationship, but it's still there.
Right. So I think a good way to end this conversation is for advice time, right? To see what give it. Because you can say, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say our relationship isn't without its, ups and downs, right? Every relationship, any real relationship has bumps and bruises, right?
Right.
But I guess in terms of the trusting, right? Because you say you trust me fully 100%.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to other women who, for opening themselves up into that trust? Is there something that you feel women can do to help push that and to foster that trust in relationships?
Stop looking in that nigga's phone.
Ooh,
Stop looking in that nigga's phone.
Say it again. Ooh.
Like, you gotta stop it, girl. You gotta stop it. Because
don't tell them that. They don't want to hear it. That's where all the juicy shit's at. It's in the phone.
It is, girl. Shit. It is. I mean, there be some juicy shit in there sometimes. But I mean, without you knowing the relationship that your man may have with that other female, it's kind of wrong for you to assume that it's something when it's not.
You said something there, that other female, right? And there's another tricky spot when it comes to the trust thing. You know what I'm saying? You know a lot of my friends, right? I am a very social person. I talk to everybody, right? So I have a lot of male friends. I also have a lot of female friends who I don't look at in any type of sexual manner, right? They're just they're just homies. You know what I'm saying? And they're in my inbox, right? They're texting me and all that type of stuff. We're having general conversations. With you, like you said, with us having a relationship built of trust, you know these people. Now this is a tip from men, right? Tip from men. Anytime, I don't give a fuck how long ago you met this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck like the status, the intensity of the relationship. You know what I mean? The level of the relationship. The moment they come back in your life, you tell your girl instantly, fam. Like if they don't, you tell her instantly. It's the softest blow, period. Right? I've told you a lot about my best friends. Like, yo, this is who this is. This is the status of our relationship. This is what happened to us in the past. You know what I'm saying? And then I leave the door open. Right? I say, is this me maintaining this relationship comfortable for you? Will it make you comfortable? There goes back to that sacrifice thing again, right? Because if you say no, I have to be willing to let it go.
Right. And as women, we should create boundaries and be honest. At the end of the day, you have to be honest with your partner. You can't say...
And yourself.
True. You can't be like, nah, I don't care if you talk to those girls. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, you sitting over in a corner mad as hell. Like, who the fuck he talking to? Right. Every time his phone pings or goes off, you think he's talking to some other female. You need to set boundaries within your relationship and be like, hey, I don't care if you talk to all these females, but as soon as something sexual comes up, you need to dead that shit. Because y'all don't need to be talking about that.
So at that point, that if something sexual ends up coming up, then I would assume that you should dead it instantly, right? Because if it's just a friend, now it's moving past friendship shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it could depend because I guess like in some scenarios, maybe your homegirl would hit you up and be like, hey, yo, let me tell you about this situation about this nigga dicking me down or some shit. And it's purely innocent. She's just telling you about it. But maybe it could come off as inappropriate if your girl saw your phone.
And I agree with you.
I'm like, what the fuck y'all talking about this shit
And maybe this is just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know who you fuck, personally. You know what I mean? I don't want to know if you laid it down. That shit grows me. I don't want to have no thoughts about how you were fucking motherfucker.
Some conversations
I understand that, friends, but I guess I would say that, I guess my thing would be, well, you know what? Let's say the roles were reversed, right? And there was some homeboy, you know what I'm saying, telling you about some bitch. Man, nigga, what is you doing?
And I mean, honestly, to keep it 100, before me and you got serious, I did have friends that would tell me about their sexual life.
Yeah, I
or
thought that shit was
send me
mad weird.
videos
Yo,
and shit.
I thought
like,
that was the weirdest thing ever, yo. Like, you have motherfuckers sending you video. I'm like, yo, what the like what? Like rate my sex
rate
game.
my
Like,
stroke
this
game.
is what kind of shit is this? I'm like, yo,
Nigga, your
clearly-
shit's whack.
I'm like,
It's
clearly
whack.
he wants to do something with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, fam. Like that was weird. And but you laughing and giggling and shit. You didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't.
At first, you was just like, oh, okay, it's whatever. I mean, it is. Like, I was like, no, that's how you sounded too. I was like, no, that joint is mad awkward, son. Like, I've never done that to any of my
Yeah.
homegirls. Like, yo, check
But
out this
even
video
not
I
even just my
made.
homeboy.
Didn't I
Like one
tell
of
you
my
to shut up?
homegirls and sent me a video of her sucking dick before.
Super,
So I mean,
whoa,
it's just
super
not
weird, super X-rated, right? We're a family program, okay? I'm just gonna say this, right? That's odd, okay? Don't do that joint. But I'm talking about even like new homies, right? There's a lot of it's social media, right?
Yeah.
Social media, you can market, you can network, you can talk to other people. That's how you got to build rapport and build relationships.
Right.
You move forward. You got to be able to talk. So you see the new chick in there, right? Now you, with your mentality, your thing is like, let me deduce the situation. Let me go ahead and break it down. Okay, who is this type of person? Where is she from? You know what I mean? All that stuff. And then you're not gonna blow it up as a big deal,
Right.
But you ain't everybody, all right? Let's just keep it real.
Right.
So what do you end up doing, like with the new women, right? With the new chicks that come out. Advice for that, because I mean, I guess it's like different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, it's just transparency with me.
So it's just, so do you feel like for those women who are more inclined to get upset and the trust level starts to drop when they see new females and things like that, would you suggest that the men do what I say, like the moment that it happens, to say something with that kind of, you think that would mitigate the
Yeah,
trust, or
be
is it just like a I don't want you talking to no bitches period type
Well,
thing?
you got the females that are like, I don't want you
But
talking
can
to
you respect that though?
I mean,
Is that realistic?
I feel like it's not realistic and it's not fair at the end of the day, because like you said, we're young. This is a new world, new age. Social media is
Right.
popping. You could talk to whoever the fuck you want to, whenever you want to. But that all goes back to when I initially said, the type of woman that you're dealing with.
Right.
So
All about learning your partner then.
exactly. So from day one, if she's like, I don't want you talking to no new bitches, I don't want to see this in the phone, you know what's up. So when a new bitch hits you up, you either have the devil and God on your shoulder. Like, hey, I ain't even gonna say nothing because I know my girl gonna trip. Or I'm gonna talk to this girl and potentially tell my woman, like, hey, there's this new girl that I met, and see where it goes from there.
Okay. So, I mean, sticking with social media, right? There was something that I definitely saw from the Steve Harvey show. And if you end up going on Make It Make Sense IG, Make It Make Sense YouTube, we're going to go ahead and show that clip. And then you can see the clip on the page, on the group page and all that good stuff, right? And Steve Harvey asked his dude, Dave, the irony, right? 27-year-old Dave. And Dave was like, he was a private guy in his previous relationship, and he didn't post his girl all like that, right?
Yeah.
And then the female was like, his new girl, right? She doesn't post him. The roles are reversed. The shoes on the foot, right? She don't post him at all. They've been dating for a year and some change, as she put it. And she, didn't post him at all. And he was like, at least a couple pictures or something like that. Now, her response is what I thought was a little bit strange.
Was a little shady.
It was like, I agreed with Steve when Steve was like, you know what? She's not sure, right? Because if she hasn't put, like, social media all of a sudden is validation.
Yeah.
Right? Social media is validation. If your relationship status don't say in a relationship, married, engaged, whatever it is, thinking about it, it ain't real. You know what I mean? Oh, you dating such and such? I ain't never seen no pictures of y'all or nothing like that up here. Like, what's up? Like, social media has way too much validation for me.
Yeah.
However, right, I don't mind a little flexing there once in a while.
Right.
You know what I mean? Steve did say something that I agree with, right? As a man, he caught his prize, and he's trying to show off his prize and mark his territory and all of that. Every picture you post, my eyes is right down there in the comments so I can get the notifications just in case a motherfucker want to talk spicy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, yo, this ain't the one. Move on, right? But I'm also crazy, so it's a little bit of a difference, right? You don't got to look at the camera and say that. But I guess social media validation to me it gets a little bit ridiculous.
It does.
Right? And I kind of see her point. You know what I mean? When she was like, I don't want the questions and all of that type of stuff. But what threw me off was her love response, right?
Yeah.
Because Steve asked her, well, how's the relationship going? She was like, oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, how's the relationship going for you? And he was like, I love her. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, well, she said it's going pretty good. Now, her response was, and I quote, well, what you want me to say, Steve? I love him. I do love him. And I'm like, no. To me, it's like, it's not about what I want you to say.
It's what you
want to say. Like,
right.
if you, to me, that response, Steve asked you the same question. If you don't come out and say, this is my man, I love him to death. I'm like, what the yo, let's go in the back real quick, talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need confirmation and affirmation, at least in public. You know what I'm saying? At least testify to people. You might not want to put it on social media, but I guess I ask you this, right? Because social media is a huge trust issue for people, okay? Do you feel like to validate relationships, it needs to be broadcast over social media?
I do not know, because I'm a firm believer. There was, I think it's a book actually, the five languages of love, or something like that. And everybody shows that they love someone differently. Okay. Whether that be through physical contact or posting on social media or gifts, or they have their own way of showing love. So to generalize and say that our relationship isn't valid if it's not posted on social media is unfair, because not everybody values social media the way that others do.
See, I think people take it too serious.
They do.
Only because it's like your followers control your life, yo.
Hell now, yeah. You saw when people was tripping on Instagram or Twitter when Instagram was inaccurately posting how many followers people had.
Right. You like these people who you've never met before control way too much of your daily lives. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes, her thing was, I don't want to answer the questions and all of that. If something
her main thing was right. So it kind of seemed like she was waiting on something to happen
either
to validate why she's not posting
or she was throwing up
media.
She was throwing up that defensive guard, like that guard that was like, you know what, I expect something to happen. You know what I mean? Something's happened to me in my past, and I don't want to have to go through this again. Which I not knowing the depth of their relationship, you can kind of understand and sympathize with. But I guess. And my thing is, you know, if you're not willing to take those questions, if you're not willing to take those hits, are you truly invested in that relationship? Like,
because you're not willing to make yourself vulnerable.
You have to make it you have to make yourself vulnerable in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? To me, you got to make yourself vulnerable in public sometimes too. Now, I'm not saying it's a mandatory thing, because I don't believe that it's a mandatory thing for you to post your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the fact that you're pregnant. You know what I mean? You moved, all your information.
1 month anniversary.
Right. Oh my God. Like, we don't need to hear all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, first of all, about who you smashing, bruh. Or sis, I don't care. But if you want to profess your love, then that's fine. But I guess where I'm coming from is he clearly sounded like he wanted that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that was something that he valued.
And it's probably not the first time he's vocalized that.
So should she give it up? Should she break? Like, and say, you know what?
I think she should post him. Like, if the relationship's going well, he loves you, you love him, like...
Because it sounds like you're cheating.
Post... okay. That's a bit.
I'm just saying, dog. She was just like, I mean, it's going pretty good. You know, I don't post him. What I need to post him for?
That's a bit extreme. I mean, I know I've followed some people on Instagram that have been in relationships for years, and they have never posted their nigga, or they posted a picture of them together, and the nigga's like cropped out.
See, now that's a little bit excessive. Now, I think if you end up cropping somebody, I'm in your picture, you better share the whole goddamn picture. Okay, don't tell me to be cropping me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me means that you took extra effort to make sure that I was not included in this photo.
But I mean, not posting the whole picture. Their different reasons.
Your angles thought
like, let's say that she didn't post the full picture of him because she's always posting how this nigga buys her gifts and all this other shit, and she don't want chicks DMing him or trying to. But see,
there we go back to trust thing. That means that you don't trust. Is that more of a trust thing or insecurity? Because clearly,
no, I think that's more you're trying to control the situation.
No, I think that's insecurity, because what you just told me was that no, if I end up posting my man, right, and all the great things he's done for me, you know what I'm saying, and the fact that he's attractive and all this other stuff, there's going to be other women DMing him and trying to go holler at him. Shouldn't you have a trust in your man to block all of that? Like, you should see my
Or you
DMs,
could just say you don't want to deal with it.
You know what I'm saying? My DMs be blowing up, and I just be chopping them down. Bow, bow, bow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, back up off me. You remember that Terry Crews commercial from Old Spice? Block, block, block. That's me. You see that? Block, block, block with the hand. Like, I don't have to... I don't need you to not to monitor, you know, the women who are trying to take me, because nobody can take me from you, because I'm your man, right? And we have that trust established in our relationship. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, that's an excuse. That's an excuse to mask insecurity, because you don't believe that you believe that somebody out there is better than you, right? And that if they see how great your man is, they'll be able to take him off of you. There's no security, there's no confidence in yourself to say, I could post my man, but guess who he's coming back home with? Just like you told me. You just said, I'll let you out at the club, you can go out with your homeboys, because I know you're mine and you're coming home to me. You don't think there's those type of girls out there? I mean, they don't know how great of a guy that I am yet, but if your whole thing is attraction, like, oh, he looks too good, I don't want to put him out. Well, I mean, how you think I'm going to look when I step out? I'm going to look immaculate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I guess, like, in that situation, when you're out physically, you can just walk away from somebody. Like, if a female is DMing you,
don't have to respond to a DM. The delete button works, yo.
It does.
Delete and block. Shroom pow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's an excuse to mask up something. I feel like if we're going to, on this show, right? When I'm on this show, I'm going to call spades spades.
Right.
And I understand there are differences. There are always going to be differences, between men and women in terms of mentality, the way that we see things and dissect things and analyze things. We can be coming to the same exact conclusion and get there a completely different way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like a really bad Apple map. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, when it comes to that situation, right, it's the same thing. If you're willing to let me go out in the club, blah, 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 you ain't got no worries about me coming home back to you. It should be the same energy online. You shouldn't have to worry about me DMing somebody else. Why? Because it's more private. Like, what's more private than you not being somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to see. I'm not Tristan Thompson. Motherfuckers ain't got their phones out looking at me. And if I'm stupid enough to be seen on the phone, oh, what up, dog? And I got some female next to me, then that's my dumb ass fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it should be the same energy. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Now, when it comes for me for social media, I post you all the time.
Yeah,
right. And that's 'cause I don't care. I want people to know how much I love you, and I want people who aren't near me all the time to know how much I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'll profess it out there.
Yeah.
Right. But the DMs don't come. You know what I mean? I think I've established myself firmly in a relationship that women avoid me. Either that or I'm just ugly. Like, one of the two.
You're not.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a solid, like, bro. I'm like,
we're not having
I'm like
this
a solid 6,
conversation.
right? And then because of my personality,
Oh my
because I'm a little
God.
funny, and I'm 6'1", like, I move up to like a 7.5, 7 3/4. Like, you know what I mean?
Fucking 10,
Oh, thank you. You know what I mean? But you're giving me some brownie points because I pay the bills. But at the end of the day, yo, like, social media to me is it can make or break a relationship.
World,
it can
like,
make or break a relationship. Like, that's the
can.
ultimate test of trust, because you kind of have to have a social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now I'm doing a podcast. I want to put my podcast out there. I need to market my podcast. I need to, make sure people can listen to my podcast. I need to
Right.
put up videos for my podcast. I need to put up quotes. I need to get on Twitter. I need to make sure I have attention so people can listen, which requires me being on social media. Even networking, LinkedIn is social media. It's just for professionals. You know what I mean? Like, there's avenues to talk to anybody, anywhere nowadays. You know what I'm saying? You have to be secure, especially with today's technology. And I feel like posting your mate is a form of trust because of what you just said. Because of all the stuff, like, all these other women seeing how great he is and all that stuff, you can still have the ability to profess your love, right? And to show off your dude, and then be like, yo, check out who I'm smashing. You know what I'm saying? And have that security that he's still going to be yours at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, he's not sitting here sneaking motherfuckers around. You know what I mean? Because I feel like people do take that too seriously. People do take Facebook. People take every DM, every comment, every like, every heart, every laugh, every emoticon, everything way too serious. Facebook ain't life, fam. Facebook is not life, yo. There's a lot of people on Facebook I talk to that I probably won't talk to in person.
Right.
Either I don't know you know what I'm saying, or you ain't nowhere close to me. Like, you know what I mean? We established our relationship via social media. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go talk to them women, but you'll probably see a couple of comments through them. You know what I mean? There's a trust that lies in there that I'm still able to go about my business and do things kind of like an individual and not have you hawking over my shoulder and trying to check the phone.
And I do think that is important within relationships, that you do need to keep your own sense of individuality, especially if y'all live together.
Oh my God.
If y'all live together, you still need to have a space or a comfort that you can go to and know that you can be 100% yourself. You're not going to be judged. You can do what you do, and you ain't got to worry about all that extra shit, because that extra shit gets stressful.
Right.
So
I mean, there is individual. Like, I feel every relationship you need to be individual first. You need to. I tell everybody, make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, this is important. This is face advice time. Okay, so listen up, people. You are an individual. If you're not okay with yourself, then you're not going to be able to be okay for your relationship and your partner. If you're not secure and trust and love yourself, then you'll never be secure and trust and love in your relationship. If you don't feel successful financially, emotionally, physically, then you're not going to be able to give that to your partner and your mate. You got to make sure, and it sounds selfish, right? But it's really not. You got to make sure that number one is always taken care
Hell
of,
yeah.
right? And I'm talking more mentally than anything. You have to make sure that you're secure. There's a lot of relationships out there right now that are very rocky. And that's because that it's not because of really that there's any main turmoil or anything like that within the relationship, right? That's not really the point. The point is like they themselves aren't together.
Right.
You know what I mean? They haven't come back from that those old relationships like you was talking about. They haven't gotten over that trauma and that experience. You know what I'm saying? They haven't got over their trust issues just yet. They haven't got over their physical issues just yet or their financial issues just yet. And then they're going to pour all of those negative thoughts, right? You're going to give those off to your mate regardless of whether you believe it or not. I tell you all the time, when you get upset, I feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're not having a good day, that shit affects me too. I got to come home to this. You know what I mean? I got to come home to the stress and to the negativity, and it runs off its energy,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Energy is neither lost nor destroyed. It's only transferred from one person to the next. So it's not like your energy's going anywhere.
Right.
It's staying and permeating throughout the house. You have to make sure that you're secure. You can't give your all in a relationship. This podcast to me is like reinvigorating. You know what I'm saying? Me excelling in my career, how I'm doing. You accelerating in your career the way that you're doing. That sense of personal security that I feel, elation that I feel when I look in the mirror every single day and say, I like the man that I'm looking at, right? That is how I'm able to give you all of me, to give you 100%, including trust. And I feel like if you have the inability, if you feel like you lack the inability to trust your mate, then you need to take a step back and look at yourself. Because it might really not be them. Now,
Right, it could be you.
You could have a Tristan. You know what I'm saying? It might be that
A
nigga.
serial cheater.
You know what I mean? And at that point, okay, it's justified. Cause, effect, boom. You got it, right? But if there's like he's really not, I don't really know. Whenever a woman says to me, well, I don't know, but I'm like, nah.
Excuses.
If I don't know, if you don't have a real reason, right? And the reason can't be, he was texting until 1:30 at night. Hey, yo, fam, AB got traded at like 4 or 5 in the morning, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what I'm doing. Them Lakers games run late. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna watch LeBron lose, I might have to stay up until 1 or 2 in the morning and talk a little shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what that person's doing. But if that's what you're thinking, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right? There's something wrong with you because now you're creating and manifesting an issue that was never there to begin with. And that's the most dangerous thing I believe in relationships when it pertains to trust.
When you plant that seed of
When
doubt.
it's nothing. When you make something out of nothing. And making something out of nothing isn't taking a small situation and blowing it up. It's literally finding something wrong when there's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's taking every little thing and amplifying it and twisting it to fit the narrative that you want. At the end of the day, to me, anyone, male or female, who has no justification, no real solid proof, evidence, something like that, what women like to call women intuition, right? Anyone who's working off that, to me, isn't secure within themselves.
That shit is
and they
legit
want it.
sometimes.
They want it. No, you say women women getting lucky, right? And having women intuition. See, real women you're not a premonition. This isn't like Final Destination. You didn't go to sleep one day
Miss
and
Cleo.
then wake up like, yo, I just saw this nigga cheating on me, man. Let me go ahead and go through his phone.
Or I had a dream.
No, don't point
I
at
know
the
that
camera and
dream
say
shit,
that. Like,
ladies.
no, dreams are corny. Your grandma had a dream of a fish like 40 times over the past couple of years. Yo, I didn't see one baby since, or not a single sonogram. So don't give me the
because I'm about
dream
to have
stuff.
a baby.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Your grandma's good, yo. Your grandma's good. Make sure she got that candle lit for me. But like, to me, if you end up manifesting that, it's because you wanted it. True. You wanted something. You wanted there something to be wrong, right? Because not wanting something to be wrong to me is making yourself 100% vulnerable and accessible for all of that hurt and all of that pain that could come, right? But with that comes I don't gotta pick up your phone. Like right now, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna be devastated. Right? I'm gonna whoop so much ass, but I'm gonna be devastated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's because I don't expect that from you. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you was like, he cheated on me, but I kind of figured. I mean, was you really ever fully in this relationship? You was just waiting for something to happen, and that to me is the issue with
the downfall of relationships.
Right.
That waiting for something to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, now sometimes you are right, but
sometimes
it's
I'm
that
pretty good at
sometimes
this.
that you betting on.
I hear you, man.
And like RuPaul likes to say,
Oh
if
my
you
God.
can't love yourself, how the hell do you expect anybody else to?
You know what he says?
He does.
RuPaul.
You gotta watch more RuPaul drag show.
I can't. That's a little extra for me.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's a little extra for me, man.
Hey, kitty girl.
But nah, I think that's you got anything else on that, man?
No, I think that's a good ender to end
I
on
like
RuPaul.
that. Okay. All right. It's not where I was going at all, but whatever. But no.
Shout out RuPaul.
All right. But no, I appreciate this was a great first podcast, man. I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this. I think we got into some good stuff. We can get a little deeper in this.
Oh, yeah,
but I feel
definitely.
like this issue of trust and trying to make sense of this trust thing is going to come back up. You know what I mean? Especially in the Black community. Hey, yo, it's your boy Face, man. I want to thank you again for listening to the first episode of the Make It Make Sense podcast. I'm trying to deliver you guys the best content possible, and for that, I'm going to need your feedback. So I'm going to need you to go ahead, like, follow, and subscribe to the Facebook page, the Twitter page, the Instagram, the YouTube, all of that good shit, man. Leave a comment. Let me know what you liked about the podcast. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know some areas I can improve on, man, so I can deliver you guys the best possible podcast that I absolutely can, all right? I want to thank everyone again for listening, and I'll see you again for the next show.